And in that moment, it was the first time I say, no, I'm gonna take my stuff and leave. I was fighting with the mountain of doubts, the mountain of fear, the mountain of stuff. In general, in fighting, I have one problem, which is what I fear about, which is like, I'm gonna gas out. Like, I'm afraid that I'm gonna get tired. And I think this is the fear of many fighters. When we start talking with Satyam, for me, I found it like magic, because the way he works basically is like, he goes into your deep emotions. This is a psychological problem. This is something in my head. This is something not in my body. But this works, like really works. I'm Yousri Soliman, and I'm an MMA fighter. I do MMA, but also I have my own business. I own the Soliman's, which is a healthy meal plan restaurant. So before I work with Satyam, basically, like, I was coming from 2 losses. And when you lose in MMA, or I don't know, maybe you lose in life in general, you start doubt yourself. You start doubt every single thing. And this is the biggest price you pay with any loss. So at that moment, it's like you don't know what is right, what is wrong. Is your training is right? Is maybe something wrong with your coaches, with yourself in general. So what I was lacking, definitely, it was lacking confidence and clarity. Then I met Satyam, and at that moment, like, we had a conversation, and I said, oh, you know what, let's give it a try. Because Satyam just introduced me, like, we can dig deeper into your mindset. I said, okay, perfectly, let's just listen and see how things goes. And I have to say, it was like, for me, because I have listened to many people. I live in Bali here, and I've listened to many people, and so many people, like, they just like try different things, and I see a lot. But basically, when I started working with Satyam, it was for me something very impressive. And then after I started working with Satyam, I felt such a great clarity. Like, he had his magic to put me in a way that I can be very clear in my mind. And then I discovered that once you have your mind clear, this is like a superpower. The toughest moment is when you basically, as I said, like, is the moment of doubt, because either like sometimes even you can be very strong, but if you don't believe it, that doesn't matter. You can be very tall, but if you don't believe it, it doesn't matter. So it always depends how you look at yourself. So many people, they look great, but they see themselves in a certain way, maybe not so positive, and that's the way they act in life. So I wasn't that, like, winning makes you look yourself great. That's why a fighter in a winning streak is very dangerous, because he feels powerful. His decisions are more not doubtful and stuff like that. They are more clear. But when you start losing, you start to doubt everything. You think it twice. Everything becomes slower. Everything becomes hesitant, and all of those things doesn't help you in fighting or in life. So that's basically where you get yourself at. I would say it was right now. I would say it was the biggest gift of my life, and the biggest thing that make me experience growth in a personal level and as an athlete too. Because I think now I look at all the fighters that they don't have any losing in their career, and I think, wow, they are lacking experience. Honestly, like, I just see it that way now, because like, winning makes everything very easy. Yeah, when you win, everything flows for you. But then when you lose is the moment that you really need to start digging deeper and finding everything, every little detail that you need to work on. So now you start working more on your conditioning, you work more on your skills, you work more on your thing, and most importantly, you start working more on your mindset. And not only in that, you start even working on your manners, like, in everything. You start like, okay, maybe I need to be a better person. So you start looking at all the direction, because it's very painful when you lose, and you don't want to experience that pain anymore. If you want to continue and you don't want to give up, because now if you're gonna give up, it's almost like a death. It's almost like you're just like dying. But then if a person like me, that I hate to give up, I'm not ever gonna give up. So now it's like I need to dig deeper and to find everything. And then the circumstances around you and the people around you, not everyone becomes helpful. because some people will add more doubts, some people will add more opinions, and it becomes a lot of distraction and a lot of things. So in that moment, all what you need is to really find the right reasons and to really have a clear mind, as we said. When I lost my second fight, like that was a moment that I was like, no, 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 no. I know myself. I know I'm very good. I know I'm very powerful. I know I have more inside of me. Like I can show much better than that. You know. But then after that, I went for a grappling competition, and in that grappling competition, I trained so hard. I was training so hard, and in that grappling competition, God have put for me, like I was going there actually like to win for sure. And God have put for me a very difficult opponent, very difficult guy. It's like I couldn't believe it. And then we were having like a match of 3 rounds. And then I entered to the competition, and the guy won me the first on the first round. And I finished this, and now I have like I don't know, like maybe 30 minutes, and I have to fight the same guy again. And in that moment, it was the first time I say, no, no, I'm gonna take my stuff and leave. I'm gonna take my stuff and leave. And I sit down and I said, you know what? Like I start to feel like I'm so weak, I'm so bad, I'm suck at this. Like that was the moment that I really wanted to give up. And then I said myself, I said, okay, you know what? Now you're gonna experience death. So better go inside there and die for it. And then I went there, and I think that was my turning moment for the fighting. Like I went there, and the guy was really good. He was like a judo black belt and stuff like that. And I said, look, you know what? I'm just gonna go for it. And I went for it, and I won the this round. I won it difficultly, like wasn't so easy. And then when we went for the third one, when I was already confident, I could see that the other guy is losing confidence. And now I was in a totally khalas, I was myself. So I was discovering that I was fighting with the mountain of doubts, the mountain of fear, the mountain of stuff. So if just you remove that, then you become yourself. And I see that with a lot of fighters, because so many fighters, we see them in the training and they are really good. They are really in a totally different level. And when you fight, you say, okay, I don't recognize this guy. So you understand they are having so many heavy things on their shoulders. And that's what we need to clear. My biggest motivation, basically, like as I said, like I didn't want to leave any stone unturned. So I was like, okay, you are so desperate that in that moment you want to listen to everyone that he is offering help, like you are really asking for help. And when I sit down with him, I felt like he's very honest, and I felt like he have something to offer. Like that was for me, because all of us as a human, we are very analytic, we are very judgmental and stuff like that, or some of us. So like we look at the person. So now we met first, like without not in a professional, just to meet each other and to know each other. And when we met, like I felt really good with the guy. I felt like, okay, this guy is smart, he knows what he's talking about, and let's give it a shot. I was skeptical, definitely I was. You know, uh, as I said, I'm living in Bali, and I have tried many things out of curiosity or out of fun and stuff like that, and some of them were totally, totally crazy. So I like when we first like met like Satyam, and in the beginning we were talking. I said, okay, maybe another, let's me listen what the guy is gonna say, and then. Uh, and then as well, I'm a guy that carry a lot of beliefs. I'm a Muslim guy. I practice. I really believe in God. So anyone who doesn't come from this direction, I will always doubt it. I will always feel no. Like I don't want anything that takes me out of my way. So the good thing about Satyam, that he understood that part, and he made me feel very comfortable in it. I didn't feel any kind of judgment, any kind of things. And he actually supported, and he was like very understanding to that point. So that's what makes me feel safe and make me feel good, and that's how we started our connection. So we had 2 sessions before the fight, and like Satyam was telling me, like when we met, he told me like those 2 sessions will make a difference. At that moment, I didn't believe it at all. But when we first had the 2 sessions, and we start to speak a little bit about it, for me, I found it like magic, because the way he works basically is like he goes into your deep emotions. Yeah, he goes into the like things in your nervous system, because basically what I understand on the basic way, like we all have some emotions stuck in our nervous system. So for example, if I used to fear my dad beating me when I was a little kid, I will still carry this emotion and I will still have it and I will have it in my fight. You know, if people were, when I was young, was telling me I'm not good enough, I will still have this in my system, in my nervous system. So what he does, he basically go through these emotions and he start to get it out and release it. So now even talking about it, like I sound like a guy, like a guy that like a guru or something, but this shit works, like really works. You know, so now if you don't know, you maybe will judge it. I understand completely, but when you try it, it's like suddenly it's like, as I said, as a superpower. It's like you get out of these things from your system and you see it. And this is exactly, I saw now this with a lot of fighters. So many fighters, when they are in the middle, and I know them because I train with them, and I know what kind of techniques they have, and I know sometimes even I know their opponent. I know how good they are because I train with both. Let's say in one part, and then when you see the other fighter, in one moment you say, okay, now this guy is not himself. This guy has something else. And this is what I totally believe is like, okay, now in that moment, he have this kind of emotion to release. In that moment, he came back to a little kid. Like some people, you see them shrinking, like shrinking in the middle of the fight. And it's like they want to quit or they do like this, and they feel like, okay, now this is not the outgoing guy, the strong guy. No, he's becoming like a little kid, afraid, you know? And that's because I think we all have some from our childhood and we still operate from our childhood. So we need to go back to this and to fix it or to get it out or to heal it. I don't know what is the right word. So you can later don't experience it anymore. So you experience who you are right now. And this is the importance of it. So when I first did our first session, we were working on some, basically, like, I used to have, in general, in fighting I have one problem, which is, or I fear about, which is like I'm gonna gas out. Like I'm afraid that I'm gonna get tired, and I think this is the fear of many fighters, because once you gas out, you don't have any more power. So then it's gonna be a very horrible situation. A guy in front of you gonna abuse you. So you don't want to enter in this situation. And for me, I used to feel that fear. That's the only fear I have. I don't have any fear in any other things. So it's my problem and it's my thing. And so in order to solve this problem, I used to always think, okay, let me run more. Let me work more on my cardio, let me work more on other things. But when I start, when we start talking with Satyam and he start talking about, like, we go through this emotion and stuff like that, sometimes I start to feel I'm already tired while we are sitting down. So I was sitting down talking to him and I start to feel the same feeling I feel when I'm gassing out, and I start to know. So now this is a psychological problem. This is something in my head. This is something not in my body. So that was the first thing I start to understand. And then he has using his techniques and things that when we talk, and everything is like through the internet, like we are doing a Zoom call. It's not like, so everything this, and then I start to feel like, okay, I am releasing this ugly feeling. So when I finish the training, sorry, when I finish the call, I jump into the pool. And the first time of my life, I jump into the pool and I go under the water and I calculated and I went for 3 minutes. I never went for 3 minutes under the water. So for me, it shows me, I always thought that my capacity is only 1 minute. So when I went 3 minutes, I think I even could go for even longer. I could understand that, like, okay, this works, like this is different. Very good question. Is there is something on your chest, like it's like somebody is carrying you from here, it's coming you from your lungs or from your heart. So suddenly you feel like this is just is releasing, like nobody is catching you anymore, and suddenly now you feel your chest is open. Even when we were doing the thing and I was sitting down like this, and then suddenly I start to feel like I'm like I'm getting confidence and stuff like that. So now even I can understand, I can walk around and I can see people who are really confident in their walk, in their talk, in their things, or people who are trying it, or people who are faking it, or people who are not at all. Yeah, so basically, like, as I said, like, like, when we were talking, we were experiencing two things. So basically, like, I was like feeling tense in my hand, and this is exactly how I punch and how I grapple. So sometimes I'm over tense, and that make you as well gas out. And then the second thing is, like, I was feeling a little bit on my chest, like over breathing or something like that. So then when we started doing the session, I started to feel calmer. I started to feel release. So it's like my hands were in a handcuff, and suddenly, you know, now they are out and now they are loose. And now I experience even on my fight, like in when I'm loose, I wasn't actually in the best condition I was, or I'm not in. I was really actually one of my worst, but I felt so calm and so loose, and I found that wow, you see everything is like I'm seeing everything. You know, I'm aware of everything, and that's what I'm saying. That's a superpower for a fighter. That I'm full of fear. I'm full of yeah. I'm full of things that I need to fix. You know, like definitely, and I like it. I like actually to discover it because once many people wouldn't say that. Many people would have not bravery to say like I'm full of problems, you know? And yeah, definitely I have a lot of fear, I have a lot of issues, I have a lot of things. And now I start to go check in my childhood, in my stuff like that, that there are a lot of emotion that me as a little kid, and I'm very proud of myself, like how I handle it, because I know people similar to me, they have experienced the same situation and they went all their life to cope with drugs, with heavy drugs and stuff like that. But I didn't want to end in that direction. So I knew how to numb my feelings, you know, how to numb my brain to keep going. But right now, when I reach this position in my life, and now it seems that God want to liberate me from that feeling, I have now. I'm aware. I'm aware. Like I had so many things in my childhood, in my life that they weren't so easy, and I'm carrying them. So maybe now it's time to liberate this little kid. You know, that's it. Yeah. So one of the biggest thing that really happened to me is like I felt suddenly like something is happening to my ego, you know? Like I'm not really trying to protect my ego so much. And since that happens, I felt a little bit more that I am kind of, I don't want to impress anybody for real. Before I used to say it as maybe as a something, you know, like as something to convince myself, but right now for real. So I was like walking around and I was feeling really free. You know, there were many people looking, many people this, maybe, but I was feeling like totally calm and happy and enjoying myself and enjoying being there, enjoying actually the time with my opponent. It felt a moment like of love, you know, like no hate at all. That's exactly 2 sessions. Yes, yes, yes. So stepping into the cage, like make me now realize why I'm doing this first, you know. And I think I'm one of the very, very few fighters, you know, if you call it fighters, that I really like the game. I really like the art of martial arts. I do it now for the martial arts. I like it. I like to take some people down. Even somebody can take me down, and I like it. You know, so I'm enjoying the game as like a chess game. You know, like wow, this that how you block this move, how you go for it now, how you know. So I'm enjoying the game. So now I could connect back, not to the thing of I have to win or I have to lose. I connect back with the joy of winning. And you know what I found? I found that I was looking now on like I had an old YouTube channel and I found myself even before learning how to fight when I was like 17 years old or something. I used to stop people in the street and we used to wrestle. So it's like it seems that that was always my passion. I used to laugh and wrestle and grapple and stuff like that. So now I'm just doing it professionally, as they call it. But the main reason is because I really enjoy it. And when I go inside, that's why I say I don't like to call it as fighter. I think we are entertainers. We are not only fighters. So it's like I felt okay. Now it's time to entertain the people, and that's why I went for a crazy kick for something, and the people love it and stuff like that. That's was for me is like okay, let's give the people a show, and that's my job. That's my this is what I should like these people are paying to enjoy a show. Let's give them a show, and that's what I felt like I want to do. I think when you anyway in life when you operate from a place of freedom, you know, you just do everything differently. You don't go to train with happiness, you know. You eat with happiness. You walk with happiness. You know, you walk with joy. You walk with peace. And once that becomes an everyday something in your life, I think I keep repeating the same word is like a crazy superpower because people carry fear. Yeah, you know, even they don't want to admit it. I'm now admitting it, but many people doesn't want to admit it. So like people walk with fear. People walk with tense, with feeling tense in their body. So now you don't have all of that. So you are like 100 step ahead, and that's what I'm saying. The superpower. Yeah, 100%. And let me, so now to give you a different perspective, I was just even thinking about it right now. So let's call it a different way. So now I was thinking, I was like, actually, to call it we are fighters is not the right word. You know, in my opinion, we are just entertainers. So I am like Beyonce, you know. And when you look at Beyonce, she's doing the same thing. She's going out there in front of thousand people. She know have to sing and dance and to perform and this and this and that, and she need to feel loose in her body, you know, because this is the art that she is mastering, and I have a different kind of art I'm mastering. So it's kind of very similar. So I think both of us need to have kind of the same thing in ourselves, which is to believe in ourselves and to be out there and to go there full like free and stuff like that, so you can master or you can show your art, you know. So but my art is a little bit like have a maybe my game is like my entertainment comes with aggression, with something like that. Okay, it comes with the thing. This is what we perform, you know. So yeah, you need to be very free in order to, because we work with our body. So if your body is feeling like tense, then I cannot punch, I cannot move, I cannot move, do my footwork and stuff like that. I would say the big difference is that I was mentally present, you know, I was mentally aware. So in my in my last fight, I think the one I lost, I think it was something super crazy. I was like the co-main event, like one fight, and I went there too early, and I was warming up. So let's say, for example, I was from there from 6 and I fought at 10. In my belief, if you make me fight at 7, I would kill the guy. If you make me fight at 8, I will lose. If you make me fight at 9, I will destroy the guy. 10, I was in that performance, is like half half, you know? So what is the whole difference? I'm the same person, but sometimes you are mentally there or mentally that's why it's very important to know that what I'm saying. Right now, I have to go and as an entertainer, like let's call it that way, I now have to go and I have to fight a guy that I don't want to fight, like well, I don't have any problem with him. So I need to create it in my head, these things that I have to beat the guy, I have to do it, I have stuff like that, you know what I mean? So it's right now I need to create it, I need to be very mentally present, you know, because it's not I'm not fighting because I'm in situation like I'm saying somebody want to kill my mom. Now it's totally different. Like now the instinct will move. Now you need to create the instinct of fighting. It's like now I'm gonna fight and stuff like that. So sometimes you feel even in the UFC and stuff, you see fighters, they pick it up after round 1. They start to realize fighting. They have a fight right now. So when you are mentally ready, when you are mentally aware, I think it's again, it's like something that was the difference I experienced on that fight. Yeah. So yeah, as we said like before, when we were experiencing the hand were like tense or the shoulder was tense or something feeling in here, I start to understand like those kind of feeling comes for me to protect me, yeah. And they come when there is a feeling of danger. And definitely when I'm entering to the cage, it's one of the biggest danger you because like, you can get hurt, you can get injured and stuff like that. So those things start to come up again, definitely, you know. So now we have worked with Satyam in some techniques that we know that when these things comes, you can work them out to calm them down, you know. And once you calm them down, you feel again you get liberated from it. So now it's like you know how to more or less to control your emotion and control your fear and control your whatever you call it. Because as I said again, once you have the worst thing is to have a problem and not to know the source of it. Okay, this is the worst thing you can have ever. It's like imagine now we are listening, like something is leaking, yeah, from the ceiling. And now you don't know if this is from here because of that, because something, you know, you don't know what is it exactly. Then you're gonna waste a lot of time. And now that we don't have time for the fight, it's only 15 minutes. And somebody will be punching you and you are losing the momentum. So once you know it for sure. The second thing you're gonna think about is like how I'm gonna solve it. And now we know the problem, we know the source, and we know the solution. So what else do you want? And I think as well the what I really appreciate about Sasim that he was with me in the fight and he was with me one day as well before the fight. So it was very fresh, you know, like even I didn't have time to forget about it. So we were working on it and we were repeating it, and he showed a lot of care about me to understand it, you know, and to implement it. Yes, in one moment in the fight, like the guy, he was heavy, huh? He was like maybe 10 kilos heavier than me, you know? And that on one moment, I was on the wall, like on the wall of the fight, and he was leaning on me, you know? And then I was like, this guy's heavy. And then in that, it started to feel a little bit the seed of like, I'm in danger. And I will start to see like, okay, I'm gonna kind of, but it didn't take too long. Just like almost seconds. It's like the moment that now I'm gonna feel my body will freeze. But I had the shift straight away in my mind, like, no, 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 everything is fine. You are trained for this, you are good for this, and stuff like that. And I used one technique and I got out. And you know, so now I felt that's what I'm saying is like you feel. I don't know. I just don't want to as well speak so much because maybe my next fight is gonna be with a much harder opponent, you know. Like, but in that moment, I felt like wow, it's like I'm just here and I'm feeling very good here, you know. That's the reality. Yeah, so in general, again, that's one of because I said like you know like as I'm full of problems, like let's call it that way, or I'm full of things. One of the things I have in general in life, like I don't enjoy so much my achievements or my victory. You know, it's like always I feel I should have done better. You know, I could have done better. I don't see it much. You know, so it's like again, I have learned to numb so many of my feelings. You know, so that's again one of the things I share with Satyam, and he said like, okay, let's work on it and let's discover it why, and let's see this, you know. And then once you start working, we start to find the root of the problem, and now we are just working on it to understand more or less about this more. And once we talked about it, I'm enjoying a lot the win from one perspective. A lot is to really trust the process, you know, because there is nothing worse than, for example, you work hard and stuff like that, and you still don't see any that you know that's gonna kill you, that's gonna kill your life, you know. That's why some people, that's why they live the rest of their life like from 30 and they die at 70, and they waste 40 years of their life because they have maybe they got cheated on, maybe they had a problem, maybe they fail in a business or something, and then they feel like, you know what, no matter you work hard or something, there is no results. They have these beliefs in them, yeah. So now that gives me again another life. It's like wow, if you work hard, if you train hard, if you do your work, if you do your inner work and stuff like that, you're gonna experience a great outcome. So now let's aim for bigger in my personal, professional life and everything. It's like work hard, put the work, and now let's go shoot for the moon. Satyam was a very important piece of the puzzle. Anyway, I think one of my biggest strengths in this game, since even I started, which is I didn't have done the work, was I was always calmer than my opponent.